Okay, Catherine, so I have another question for you. How would you say, assuming you can, how do you leave your work at work so you can be replenishing yourself at home?
Yeah, good question. I first off want to say that I don't always get it right. So even though I have these things that I can do, and I'll share those in a second, I think it's important to acknowledge, again, going back to that humanness, that I'm not 100% all the time. There's times where I'll come home from work, for example, and I'll have been, doing my thing all day with my clients, and my husband will say something to me, and I have the biggest eye roll you've ever seen in your life because I've run out of capacity to control my face in that moment. And I'm cognizant of that. And I know that for me is, again, that little tap on your shoulder that maybe I need a break or a minute. But the things that I do that do tend to be sustainable and I have used throughout my career actually started when I was in grad school. I had a professor who suggested that whenever you leave work and whenever you go to work, that you add a ritual into that. And we know that rituals help people kind of separate and calm down at certain times if you can use them or if you use them for that. So his suggestion at the time was to do the same thing after work every day. And so when I was in grad school, I would leave work every day and call my mom. My mom is somebody who, when you talk to her, it's like she doesn't talk to you ever. She's like, hi, hello, how are you? It's been 20 hours kind of a thing. But her attitude around things and just her disconnectedness from the job that I had been at all day, it was lightening for me and kind of lifted me up a little bit. So we'd have a quick 5-minute conversation, and that was enough for me to mentally separate. And now it's a little bit different because we're in this different landscape where I work from home most days. And so that distance between leaving work and getting to the place that I'm going to spend the evening is a lot shorter than it used to be. So I no longer do those phone calls, but I do take a walk around my house. And that is a ritual for me, and I think of it like that. I do a lap around our yard. We call it a gratitude walk. Gratitude walk around the yard, and that really helps me to separate. I also am somebody who needs to move my body. I have to be exercising. I have to be shedding that somehow, because even though I can cognitively work through the things that clients are talking about and I can add mental separation, my body still holds on to some of that stuff, I think, more than I give it credit for sometimes. And I notice it most after I've moved my body and gotten fresh air in a way that feels really good and cup filling.
There's something that you said, too, that I just wanted to pull out of the conversation and highlight, and that was that one piece of your ritual was something that we offer as part of our job, and that is attunement, listening, and curiosity, and that is replenishing in and of itself, and you have somebody in your life who can offer that to you, and sometimes our clients don't have that outside of therapy, so just wanted to highlight that little tidbit.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it's such a privilege to be able to have somebody in my life with that. And I think that also lends itself to the idea that I can't push my self-care onto somebody and my way to separate work and life, because yes, we need it in this role, but I think that applies to everybody that's out working a job. You need to be able to add separation at the end of your day, at the start of your day, whatever that might look like. And I have found it to be very helpful in my own journey around figuring out what works for me, to hear what works for others, and to get clients to really consider for themselves what are the things that help them relax and calm down in times when they need it. Now, we're talking about it in the context of employment right now and separating from our jobs and whatnot. But I find that the creativity of others also helps me, maybe in moments or days where I'm carrying something extra, and I pull from the things that my clients and my colleagues are doing as well. And I feel very fortunate to be able to do that.
Yeah, that's lovely. Yeah, I think for myself too, sometimes, and this may be the wrong answer or the wrong thing to say, but for me, my clients are in and of themselves cup fillers, that I derive a lot of comfort in seeing them and joy in being a part of their life. So for me, that piece of it is, it's just not, it's the opposite of emptying my cup. It's filling my cup. I know that it is also work that requires measurement in terms of how much I put into it, how much time,
I would imagine, though, that your what's the way to say this? I would imagine though that because you can see your clients as cup filler. Sorry, I had a whole thought in there for you. Oh, yes, I was going to say, I can imagine that because you are able to be in that moment and have your cup filled with clients, that it also means, though, that you're doing other things in your life on a day-to-day basis that help keep you balanced.
Oh, yes, you're right about that. I suppose I wouldn't have one without the other. So I certainly do have other parts of my life that fill my cup outside of work.
It's really nice, right? There's a really beautiful balance, like a boundaried balance in there, because we want to be filled up by our clients. And it isn't just about, trudging, like the perception of trudging through stuff every day long. It's a beautiful thing to sit there with clients. And it's, as we said earlier, it's inspiring. I know we've tossed that word around a little bit today. But I definitely feel that too. I think there are especially certain clients who are maybe doing something or that I, have a particular moment with. That moment can last all day. And I think that that's really fun.
Yeah, I still have a note from one of my earliest clients from like 20 years ago. I still have it and I look at it sometimes.
It's like a little Post-it note?
It's just a little note on a piece of paper, ripped off piece of paper that they handed me at the end of our last session. Really sweet. Yeah.
I